Hi. Here's Daddy. Hi, Ollie. I have another story for you. This is a good one. It's called Crabby Gabby. It's by Stephen Cosgrove. Illustrated by Robin James. There's them again. Alright. Right on, Bob. That looks like a nice place to hang out, doesn't it? Beyond the time when you fall asleep, in a place beyond your final dreams, is a land of mystical, magical melodies. A land of soft velvet trees and giggling, wandering streams. A place where all wishes come true, and nothing happens that you don't want to. It was in this land that certain little creatures lived and saw all that could be seen. They, like always and before, were called furry Eiffels. They wandered from valley to valley, looking at a little bit of this and wondering at a little bit of that. One special furry Eiffel, smaller than the rest and more talkative than most, was Gabby. She not only wanted to see all that she could see, but had to tell everyone about it, as they were seeing it too. That's Gabby. She likes to gab. Day in and day out, Gabby was the one who suggested what the furry Eiffels did for the day. She wakened everyone in the morning with her excited chatter about all things they would do and see. "Wake up, wake up! It's time for a new Gabby game!" she shouted eagerly. "Today we must see where the river pours into the sea." One by one, the furries woke up with a stretch and a yawn. Ooh, and followed Gabby into another beautiful sight. This is a big Eiffel yawn. A furry Eiffel yawn. Day by day, week by week, Gabby suggested this, suggested that, in all her Gabby games. But soon, the suggestions turned into requests, and the requests turned into demands. Come on, I have a new Gabby game," she shouted. "We must go see the parading peacocks." The whole gaggle of furry Eiffels rushed to see the peacocks. They settled into the gentle meadow moss and prepared to watch for hours and hours. Then, as the peacocks fanned their gorgeous tails, Gabby was rushing them off to somewhere else. Hurry! We must get to the lake in the woods to watch the silver fish flash in the noontime sun," she demanded. And off the furry Eiffels went, waddling through the woods. These are peacocks. They have really cool feathers. That's Gabby. After they had sat by the lake for a time or two, Gabby jumped to her fuzzy feet and said, dusting the leaves from her fur, "Well, that's enough of that. We're all going deep into the forest and throw nuts and pine cones at the chipmunks. It's one of my most favorite Gabby games. Come on, guys, let's go." And with that, they all stood and started to leave. But one of the younger furry Eiffels spoke up. "I don't really want to play another Gabby game. Why don't we all just sit a while and watch the fish in the lake?" Well, Gabby was fit to be tied. "Why don't you just sit there then?" she asked sarcastically. "In fact, why don't you play a new Gabby game with your friends, the fish?" Then she booted the little furry creature into the lake. The other furry Eiffels laughed and laughed as the younger one tried to climb from the water with a lily pad on his head. Then they followed Gabby down the trail. That's Gabby. He's kicking him in the lake. All those furry Eiffels are laughing. That's a lily pad. The Eiffels waddled into the middle of the forest to a tall, stately hazel tree where all the chipmunks lived. Gabby picked up a pine cone and threw it, narrowly missing a tiny chipmunk who scampered out of the way. Then all the furries started throwing hazelnuts and sticks at the other chipmunks, and the other chipmunks chattered angrily in the branches. Gabby just laughed and laughed to see the chipmunks dodging this way and that. Copying Gabby, all the other furry Eiffels joined in her giggling and laughter. It seemed like such a good Gabby game. Finally, one of the furries said, "Hey, maybe we shouldn't be doing this. After all, the poor little chipmunks have a right to be in the forest too." Gabby looked at her in disbelief. "Oh, you like the little chipmunks, huh? Well, if you like the chipmunks so much, you can have all their nuts." And with that, she threw the nuts in the other furry's face. And the other little Eiffels did the same and ran after Gabby, leaving the poor little creature all alone. Later that very same day, Gabby led everyone into the meadow to play a game with her ball. "Hurry, hurry," she yelled. "We're going to play a brand new Gabby game." "What is a Gabby game?" one of them asked. Gabby quickly answered, "Silly, a Gabby game is a game where Gabby makes up all the rules and everybody has to play." "Well, that doesn't seem very fair," another little furry said. "Well," said Gabby, "you don't have to play, but it is my ball, so it's a Gabby game or nothing." All but the one furry Eiffel decided to play, looking to Gabby for the rules of the brand new Gabby game. So, she explained the simple rules of her Gabby game. "First, everyone throws the ball to me, and then I throw the ball to somebody else. The winner is the one who catches the ball the most." "Wait a minute," said one of the Eiffels. "If we always have to throw the ball back to you, then you always win." "Of course," said Gabby gleefully. "After all, it's my ball, and this is a Gabby game." All the other Eiffels looked at one another, and then back at Gabby, who was throwing the ball idly from one hand to the other. "You know," said the Eiffels, "we have gone from pond to stream to see and do only those things you wanted to see and do. We don't want to play your Gabby games anymore." Then they all walked away, leaving Gabby alone in the meadow with her favorite ball and her only friend, herself. "Pooh, what do they know? They'll find without me, and that just isn't any fun. I'll just wait and see." With the ball as a pillow, she stretched in the cool grasses of the meadow, waiting for the other furry Eiffels to return. She waited and waited, and finally fell asleep, dreaming selfish dreams of always winning at her Gabby games. When she woke, she found that she was still alone. The other furry Eiffels had not come back. "Fools," she thought. "We'll show them who's the boss." Gabby set off in search of her friends through the forest of ferns. She searched and searched, till finally she found them sitting and staring at all the beautiful blooming flowers in a tiny, tiny meadow. "Well, it's time for a new Gabby game," Gabby announced. "Come on, we are all going to throw nuts at the chipmunks again. Let's go!" She raced back through the forest to the tree where the chipmunks lived. But when she got there, she found she was all alone. nobody wanted to play her Gabby games anymore. See, that's Gabby running off by herself. With a thump, she sat on an old rotted stump and began to cry and cry. Over her crying, she could hear a soft, gentle slithering of a cartouche, a kindly blind snake who lived in the forest. "Why do you cry, little one?" asked the snake in a quiet hiss. "None of the other furry eyefuls wants to play my Gabby games anymore." Then, in a halting voice, she told Cartouche of all that had happened. "That's Cartouche. He's a snake." Cartouche wrapped himself around a sun-warmed rock and thought for a moment. "Gabby, things are not to be seen and games are to be played, not just to win, but for the enjoyment of the game or the pleasure in the things that you look at. The other furry eyefuls don't want to play anymore because you always have to win. When you are ready to play and see those things around you for the enjoyment of them rather than for the victory, you will always win, even though you may lose the game." Gabby's tears slowly dried in the warmth of Cartouche's words, and she knew that he was right. Day after day thereafter, Gabby learned to play with the other furry eyefuls. She learned to win in losing, and under the watchful eye of a kindly blind snake called Cartouche, she never played her Gabby games again. See, they're all playing together. Crabby Gabby. Love you, son. Good night.